So welcome to Chrysalis Invictus. Today's reading is for the full moon in Pisces. But if this reading popped up on your feed and you feel called to be here, there could be messages here for you. So it's in the energy of the full moon in Pisces. And just as I did for the new moon, I'm going to work in the directions. So we have 4 piles represented by north, south, east, and west. But first I would like to guide you through a little meditation to help you select your pile and to help you connect in with the spirits, energies, guides of this reading. So if you close your eyes and start to deepen your breath, pulling your breath down into the belly. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Letting the navel sink back toward the spine. And relaxing the shoulders and the jaw, the fingers and the toes. Focusing on that deep breath into the belly and out from the belly. Cleansing and clearing the body of any stuck or stagnant breath. And then bring your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, the home of your inner vision. And begin to find yourself in a space. This could be the center of a meadow, could be a room, a forest. Just allow your mind to take you somewhere that feels safe and sacred. And allowing yourself to fully understand what is around you. The sights and sounds, the colors, the shapes. Stay with your deep breath as you fill in this picture of this sacred and safe space. And this does not need to be created in the image of anything in particular. This is a space just for you. Somewhere in that space you see a circle of some kind. This could be a circle of stones, a circle of mushrooms. It could be an implied circle, or it could be an orb of light. Something that calls to you. And begin to make your way to the center of that circle if you're not there already. And in your mind's eye, see or experience yourself spreading your arms wide and spinning. Spinning counterclockwise in this circle, round and round. You may start to feel dizzy, or perhaps you notice that you're spinning with ease and there is no dizziness, as this is your safe and sacred space. Continue to spin. Spin and spin and spin until you fall to the ground. And allow yourself to notice which direction your head is pointed in, the direction of your feet, the direction of your right hand, and the direction of your left. Scan the wisdom and awareness of your body, which is calling for you. You may feel a draw or a pull through the head, through the feet, through the right hand or the left. And allow that pull to help you select a pile. If you're drawn in all 4 corners, then maybe all 4 readings are for you. And starting to bring your awareness softly back Perhaps you make your selection based on the stones that I've placed in each direction. In the north, we have the serpent stone. In the south, Mukite jasper. In the east, bloodstone. And in the west, blue calcite. Make your selection, and I'll meet you there. We call in your guides, my guides, any energies or entities that wish to be present with us here today in the space of the north. And through the energy of the serpent stone to deliver guidance that aligns with our highest and greatest goods for the betterment of ourselves and the collective. So if you chose north, this is your reading. And you have the card, Best Possible Decision, Artemis, Goddess of the Bow. Help me see what must be known. There's some kind of intuitive wisdom that's coming through your body through this full moon. You're guided to really tune into the body, to tune into particularly the space of the throat. Whether you are a good singer or not, you may want to sing, howl, something to release energy through the throat, through the mouth, through the vocal cords, and allow sounds, words. This could be about channeling as well. You could have a lot of channeled wisdom coming out through your body, senses or impressions that are ordinarily difficult for you to express may come through at this time. So you could record yourself or record it in a journal, whatever is coming out. I think it's going to be important. If you are not someone who records things, that's okay too. I feel for some of you there's going to be an enactment of some kind of primal energy or entity. You're very much channeling through the body. With this here, you have rabbit spirit. Now is a lucky time. Some of these impressions, some of these things in your body may come through in sexual encounters, physical encounters with yourself or with others. There's a transcendent energy here where it feels like your intuitive guidance from your mind or anything that is intuitive that is not based in the body or a physical reality will be possibly inaccurate or misleading, where anything that is coming from the body is going to be more accurate, I guess you could say. So there's a need to really ground anything that you're channeling and really allow yourself to feel it up through all of your energy centers rather than just in through the crown or through your third eye. I would not be making decisions with my mind at this point. It feels like the energy of this full moon in Pisces for you in the north is very much like the riddles, songs, things like that. If it comes through in that way, that will be the truer knowledge. Where if it comes through as like a clear, the way that I guess I'm not very clear right now, but the way that I'm talking right now, if it's coming out in clear sentences, it's probably misleading. Like a trick, like a trickster energy is what I'm getting. We have the scales. There's definitely a climax here at the full moon for you. It's bringing you into Libra season with a renewed sense of equilibrium, equality. It feels like if you have been putting yourself beneath someone or lower than someone, there is the energy in this full moon to bring yourself to an equal space with them or to an equal footing. There's something here about someone like spirit or your guides or just the universe or whatever you believe in, revealing someone's truth. So it's like there is a decision perhaps that you were needing to make, or a choice that you felt that you needed to make, and maybe you've been in your head a lot about this. There's been a lot of anxiety, or there's been a lot of channeled visions about it, but those channeled visions may have been deceptive. There's something that is going to be revealed to you when you are, when the moon is lifting energy up from your body. So I feel like it's lifting up through your feet and it's moving up through all of your energy centers, and it's coming out in a song, or it's coming out in a kind of nonsensical verse or recitation of some lyrics or poetry, and this is going to reveal some kind of truth, reveal what his truth is what I'm hearing. So this could be revealing your truth, or it could be revealing someone else's truth. Guardian spirit, I feel this very heavily. Someone is with you. There's a very strong masculine energy that's with you, and this strong masculine energy has been watching over you for some time. I feel this energy came through in a different reading. So if you're recognizing this card and you're recognizing anything that I'm saying here, this came in, I want to see, actually, maybe it's here, new moon in Virgo. We just had the new moon in Virgo. This is very tightly woven with what has just happened at the new moon. So the messages that came in for the new moon, there's some sort of quick turnaround or quick cycle. So maybe you were asking or calling in something, or I feel like with the new moon in Virgo, there was a lot to do with things. You don't really have to ask for anything. It's already coming in. So there's something that has been triggered for a release, or for to come up to the surface. And this is a deep, deep feeling. And somehow it's connected to this guardian spirit that you have, this masculine energy that watches over you. I feel like this masculine energy has a really strong sense of justice, has a really strong sense of, like, maybe in their lives they were a lawyer or a politician or someone who had power or had authority, and I feel like they are very much a guiding principle for you. So if you know nothing about law or politics, they are informing you about these things, and they have very much entangled themselves in this issue, in this situation. This could be a situation that has to do with someone that you have children with, or someone that you are going to have children with, or someone that you thought you were going to have children with. There's some kind of legal dispute potentially that is going to come, and something is going to come up that will have a lot of feeling. And there's something about this new moon in Virgo, like you received a phone call around that time, or you entered into some kind of dialogue at that time. And now that dialogue has descended almost into gibberish, like sort of like when you recall a cycle with someone, when you you know, and it's really good at the beginning, and then you start to realize, oh, okay, this is where the trauma bond is, or this is where that difficulty is. It feels like you're hitting that wall, and this moon is exposing that for you. And then you have card number 20 from the Moon Oracle of the sheet. There is some kind of exaltation is a word that I'm hearing. Exalted movement, exalted, but it's also destined. It's also something you are calling to you that was already your destiny. I'm hearing something about the boundary of freedom. And this is all tying back to this best possible decision. Artemis, goddess of the bow, help me to see what must be known. And what is being revealed to you is that you have dodged a bullet, I feel. And I feel that you've dodged this bullet because of the guidance of this masculine energy. And this could be something that you were manifesting. This actually could be something that you asked for last August. So in the new moon in Virgo, I do feel like there's both happening here. I think that there was a repeating theme. If you have a journal, you may want to check back with that. There may have been a repeating theme for you and throughout the year, or that came up, it echoed in both new moons in Virgo, where you were almost asking for the same thing, but you are you're being shown a different way. I'm getting this sense of divine balance as well. It's like the scales here for me are temperance and justice, so that there's some kind of material justice that's happening. And what this is doing is it's changing the trajectory of how you construct a family or how you construct your life. And this is insight that you've been looking for. So it almost feels like you were constructing something with a missing piece, and you were asking for that missing piece, and you had some kind of intuitive nudge. It may not have even been a nudge. It may have been reading after reading saying, this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is. And so you've been looking at it, and then all of a sudden here in this new moon in Pisces, the deception is revealed, or the misdirection is revealed. And so you were being pointed in that direction to develop skills or abilities that are going to align with what you're about to enter into, but you couldn't see exactly what you were about to enter into. You were prepared in a different way, is what I'm feeling here. All right, so let's take a look at some of the guidance cards. Ooh. Yeah, there's something about a boundary, a fence, a wall, something that was inaccessible to you. And it's this path, the one you could see, the one you couldn't see. Sorry, the one you could see, the one that you, why am I getting this wrong? It's why am I getting this wrong? Yeah, because of the confusion. It's like the meditation that we did at the beginning of this reading, it's like you were told to go north, but really you were supposed to go east. But you were guided north, you continued to walk north. But it's as if you were guided to walk north. I don't know how to make this camera stop bouncing, honestly. Like it's anchored into a thing. Okay. It's like you were guided to go north, and then all of a sudden you go east. So you had to go northeast, for instance. I don't know if northeast resonates with you as a direction. This is just what's coming through, but there's this kind of feel like there's a deep nugget, like an astrological nugget that would have revealed this to you, but it's like you scoured everything, or you looked everywhere. You were looking for these answers, and it was there. Like, you know, me as a reader, I would probably read around this situation. Like, I would see kind of the outsides of it, but it would be impenetrable. There is some sort of astrological aspect in your chart that would have revealed this to you, but now it's being revealed through the the full moon in Pisces. Interesting new moon in Pisces. So you may want to go back and look at that as well. Okay, so what we have here, it says, I assess matters carefully and discern wisely. I feel like this is your typical energy. I feel like this is typically how you make decisions, and the guidance here is actually not to, because you're trusting the guidance and the discernment of your guardian spirit here. Okay, connecting in with this guardian spirit. I'm just going to ask him for a second, for those of you, how can they connect with you? Okay, I don't know if this makes sense to anyone, but one of your guys, like, binding a carrot. Okay, that's something that's coming through. Lots of different traditions out there, right? So, for someone, for many of you, it's through a kind of smoke. So burning a certain plant, or burning, this could be pipe tobacco. If this guardian, if you knew them in life, maybe it is through something that they used to smoke. The smoke is going to resonate with a lot of you, and I feel like that's the main way that you access the spirit. I don't know, they're talking about a kind Carl, Kevin, and Kyle. So I don't know if I know I have a Carl that sometimes watches. Hi Carl, if you're watching this. But I don't know if there's a Kevin or a Kyle, but what do you want to say to them? It's like the three of you share a guide, like you're connected. It's interesting. It's the same spirit for the three of you. Okay, so there's something about writing in the margins of books as well. There's some sort of insight. If you look at some of the notes that you maybe take in the margins of a book, so there's a specific book here, especially, that's being referenced. It may be a book that is really important to this issue at hand, or something that you've been reading to try and come to solutions, and something you've written in the margins is going to give you this insight. But yeah, there's a lot of just trusting this kind of, this guardian spirit, this energy, this teacher, this ancestor, whoever this is for you, to be the discerning portion here. Like with the new moon in Pisces, it's hard to trust your thoughts because your subconscious is in the driver's seat. I have the card of Aquamarine, and it says communication. I communicate with ease and grace. This is going back to that throat chakra. I feel like the ease and grace is all of your heart-centered communications. If you're communicating from the heart rather than the head, it's going to come out clearly and concisely. Even for those who struggle to speak from the heart or to speak their emotions, this is a really good time to do that. So if you need to tell someone how you feel, if you need to explain the impressions, this is going back to the very beginning, the impressions that you receive in your body, this is going to be the time to do that. It's going to come through really clearly for you, or it's going to come out very clearly for you. And then we have this beautiful door, this rusted door. Something that hasn't been open for a long time is going to open here. It says deeper. You are not finished. You are not yet done. Dig deeper and deeper. The best is to come. Hold on, hold on. I feel like this is a couple of different things. So there's that element of trust, the trust in the process, trust in the spirit that's guiding you. There's this other part that your body will know and will recognize truth when it needs to be recognized. And with the new moon in Virgo, that Virgo energy, Virgo is all about the body, all about health. So finding balance within your health is going to level off everything else. So if you focus on, even as a ritual, like if you're looking to practice some kind of full moon ritual, make it a ritual about foods, okay? Like make it a ritual about the experience of food. Feed your ancestors, feed this guardian spirit. What do they want to eat? Tap into that. Ask them that. With the rabbit, yeah, with the rabbit, they're saying rabbit food, like lots of veggies, lots of fresh foods from the garden, if possible, if you have that available to you. Not everyone does, but and then we also have Artemis here as well as a guiding energy for you. Okay, so that's what I have for you in the north. Moving on now to the south. If you chose the south, this is your reading, and we call in your guides, my guides, the guardians and energies of the south, and the ancestors, teachers, deities that wish to be present with us here today, deliver us messages for the greatest good of ourselves and the collective. And a healing of the passions I feel coming through already. We have the card of friendship, yes. The word blending is coming through. Blending and blurring of lines, or blending of two souls, blending of multiple souls, the coming together. What sticks and what grows, what binds and what leaves. Bring to me friendship true, sharing, laughter, understanding too. There's a deep friendship with nature that I'm feeling here as well, or with the nature of others. I feel that this moon is a good time to connect with the expectations that you hold over other people, or the subconscious, if you can, start to bring up those subconscious feelings that you have towards certain people in your life and examine them. Are they coming from a reasonable place? Are they coming from a place of fear, or are they coming from a place of values? But most importantly, to keep your heart open. So this is guiding you to stay gentle with your heart open. This is a very soft heart energy. So even if someone comes at you with an aggression, or if someone comes at you, I mean, I'm not talking about abuse, but I mean with aggressive energy, to stay in the vibration of open-hearted love. What do you love about this person? What do you love about these people? And to try and hold that in your heart space for as best you can. With the Canary Spirit, we sing your own song. There's something here about perhaps in the past that you have often shifted yourself or changed yourself in order to, it's almost like you felt like you had to do this to maintain a friendship, or to keep a friendship, or to keep in your friendship group. And this is talking about releasing yourself from that and allowing yourself to be your own person and realize or accept, because sometimes it's not that people don't accept us, it's that we don't think they will. And so it's about allowing people to show that they will accept you for who you are when you are yourself. And if they don't, recognizing that there was a kind of deception that you were conjuring to maintain that friendship. And so, you know, that's your role in that situation as well, right? This really has a strong sense of self to it. And I feel like that's what you're going to be bringing into your friendships. And I see friendships, connections here in general with people, like generally with people, becoming stronger because of your stronger sense of self. This is where someone has explored who they are, what self-love is, what self-care is, what self-discipline is even, and has this really formed sense of self that they now take with them. It's not egoic. It's not I'm this in a really rigid way. It's a more flexible sense of self, but it's still true, and it's still very clear. And so when you're speaking from your heart, this is very closely aligned with the first reading with the North, but with some differences, because there's a heavy aspect here on the self, on the solar plexus, on being centered in who you are as a friend. What do you want to give? What makes you feel good to give? And next we have the full moon in Virgo. Wow, okay. So this is taking you a full year into Pisces season, or this could be something that's coming up from Pisces season. So that would have been the end of February into March. And there was something perhaps that came up at that time that's going to come up again. Okay, there's often repetition, there's something that is going to be reflective, but again, we're seeing this heart energy. And there's something here about really, truly allowing yourself to feel love and to feel loved, like in your body. Not just intellectually, like, oh, I know this person loves me. This is feeling it. This is knowing it. This is integrating it into every cell. And when you think of Pisces, Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac before you start again, before you take the fool's journey again, right? So this is our final full moon of the zodiac cycle. So something that you have been working on releasing, something that maybe you thought you released back in Pisces season, or that you started to release, is now finally coming out. And it may be this sense of self. It may be that, you know, when it comes to growth, like there's no such thing as I've learned everything that I need to learn. I've done all the work is done. There's no such thing, right? You talk to a spiritual teacher who is 80 years old, and they'll tell you that they are still learning. Because if you feel like you've learned everything, you're stuck, right? It's the learning that keeps things moving. It's the learning that keeps things going. And this is where something that you thought you fully, and then something more recently may have brought up this issue. So this could be an issue directly with friendships, something a pattern that you have about self-sacrificing and then blaming the other person, and then, but you didn't tell them, and so they didn't know, and so they violated something, but you didn't tell them that it was a violation, and then blame them for it, kind of thing, right? Like, this is and we all do it. Like, it's not, many of us do it, where you assume this kind of victim role, and it takes a little while to recognize, like, what was my part in this? How am I culpable? And I feel like that's what's really coming up for you, which is really great. Yeah, you have the Two of Swords. Wow, this is so reflective but different. I love how these readings work out. The Two of Swords, there's a contention here that has not been seen or spoken of. So I actually feel like this contention may have started back in Pisces time in a friendship, and this contention has not been seen or spoken of. It's been buried into some kind of version of yourself that you were before now projecting. Okay, so there's a need here to recognize who that self was and to look at that self, and then to maybe look at that before you approach the other person. So before you confront the other person, so it may come up like, hey, this person, yeah, like I didn't really like that, or it's coming back as a memory where it's like this person violated a boundary or your trust or something, a value of yours in some way, and it's coming up to you, and you're like, hey, instead of going to that person right away and confronting them and making it a kind of thing in your relationship, this is about observing your part in it. We're coming back to that, your part in it, and what was the self that they thought that they were connecting with? Who were you telling them you were? And is that the reason why? I feel like there's someone who has hurt you, or again, with all of those examples that I was giving, like violated your boundaries or something like that. And I'm not talking about big violations here. I'm not talking about someone who has like abused you or something extreme like that. This is more like I don't know. Everybody has their own little pet peeves, right? Or things, values that they don't know are an issue until they come up, stuff like that. And so this is what's coming up, and there's definitely a need to kind of take a pause and to perhaps even release the conflict. Recognize that the conflict was there. You may want to have a dialogue depending on who that person is. You may want to have a dialogue with them about how, you understand that you showed them that you were this kind of person, but now that's not really who you are. And, you don't have to apologize for that, but you can definitely say, like, in future, this is not something that is okay with me. This is not something that is okay within our friendship or within our relationship, and I want that to be known going forward. But I also recognize that I gave you the impression that it was okay. Because if this person, a lot of times people, they take us at face value, right? Or they take us for what we say we are or what we show them, and so this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad person. This can just be someone who maybe they have different cultural values, maybe they have different relational values, and what they did was okay to them. But if you feel comfortable, have that discussion, and I think it will be okay. Sulky, okay, sulky. Yeah, it's like this person, or you have this issue of people seeing you in a certain way, but I feel like you taught them to see you that way. And there's this true nature that's wanting to come out. You're releasing this true nature, but there is going to be some resistance to it. And not all resistance is bad, okay? So something that's coming forward actually really strongly for me, and as an example, is if you are trans and you tell a close friend or a loved one that you are, and their first reaction is to ask a bunch of questions. Like, it's not to just give you validation or support. I feel like rather than assuming that they're a bad or ignorant person, it's giving them that time to really to get there. Maybe they didn't, maybe this is blindsiding people. Maybe this is something that you've kept very, very deep and very secret within yourself, but you know yourself now, and you know that this is true of yourself, and you want to be treated in this way, or you want to be known in this way, it might take people a minute, right? Like, you've had longer with this than they have. And so it's not about, like, do you deserve validation and love and support? Absolutely. And I do think you have it. That's what I'm trying to say, is I think that you have it, but there is a danger here of feeling like you don't. And so I want you to know that you are loved and supported here. And the decision that you are making and the choice that you're making and the path that you're taking, you will be supported in that. And you are absolutely in the right to come out as yourself in whatever way that is. It doesn't have to be the example that I gave, but it can be that, everybody has different processing times, or maybe someone said something to you, and you assume because of your knowledge that they know what you know. And so there's a need here for that clear and open communication, because I feel like there's a danger here of losing friendships that are still good friendships, or losing relationships that are still good relationships because of a lack of communication of who you are. Because the people that love you for who you are. Okay? This is, I don't mean to lecture. I don't like when people say what you should do in a reading. These are just suggestions or guidance that's coming through. This is a deeply emotional situation. This is something that is going to take time to unfold, and it's also part of, I feel like it's woven into your destiny somehow. So whatever it is, whatever truth is coming out, whatever song you're singing is also a song that other people are singing, and they need to hear you sing it. They're waiting for you to come out and sing it. So this could be, even just in your family, if you're standing up to someone in your family. And when I say standing up, again, with that kind of understanding that not everyone is where you're at with things. But it's this, it doesn't have to be on a grand scale, is what I'm saying, this influence, but there are people waiting for you to speak up about this. Or there are people that are waiting for you to reveal this truth because they've already sort of suspected it, or they've already kind of, like, they've tuned into the energy of it. I feel for some of you, you have attuned people in your life, and they've tuned into the energy of it, but they don't know the specifics of it. So they're really just waiting for you to communicate this to them. Yeah, and this is the shadows sort of dancing across the shadow coming to light. Let's just put it that way. And it says, I can guide and lead others wisely and with love. Yeah, I feel like it's almost like the way that you communicate this truth is going to be a way, like a model for other people to come out with their truth. Whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be something that's politically charged. It can just be something that for you is emotionally difficult to reveal. This could be feelings that you have for someone. Good feelings, not even bad feelings. Like, you have to confront someone about the love that you have for them. And it's almost in revealing the love that you have for them, they are able to then reveal that truth in a similar fashion. They just need you to show the way. Okay? You have Hiddenite. It's this really pretty green stone. So much heart energy here. Gratitude. I am grateful, and this loving energy fills every single cell of my being. This is a key message for this Pisces full moon, is love. Come to conversations, come to singing, come to self-expression, come to friendship with this energy of just gentleness and love. And watch how it transforms the situation. Watch how it transforms your relationships with people. And this is your door. It says, Anthony's call. In thanks of my spirit, safe and sound, all things that are lost, so can be found. So this could be a friendship that you are recovering as well. I feel like I need to get you another door. just feels like there's another door for you. This is something like you're shifting yourself. You're shifting how you are perceived. You're shifting how others treat you. And so there are going to be multiple passages. It could be that there is a very ongoing, it's like a ripple effect. Like you reveal something, or you speak something, or you share something, and then it ripples out, and this continues on for a period of time. But it has a huge impact. Okay, so you have this really interesting gateway looking at the mountains, framing nature. I do feel like this is you expressing your true nature, and it's really wonderful. A distant kiss in a prayer flag. I wish of all wishes that you were here. Through sunlight and rain, I need you near. Okay, so for some of you, this is about, it's revealing your love, revealing that you want to be close to someone, that you want to be, that you feel safe with them, that you want to provide safety for them, that you have this deep love for them, and not being afraid, because you know that it's coming from that true part of yourself. I'll move on now to the east. And welcome to the east, calling in your guides, my guides, any energies, entities, guardians of the east, the element of air, ancestors, teachers, deities. We ask you to join us in this space, deliver messages for the greatest good of ourselves and the collective. All right, so for those of you who chose the East and the Bloodstone, there's something about copying or people cloning or taking credit for your work. Something is coming through about that before we even get going, but we'll take a look. Abundance. Goddess of abundance divine, let me thrive, let fortune be mine. Okay, so this could be something to do with your livelihood. I feel like to be cautious about what your intuition is telling you at this time, okay? The warning here is that there may be illusions or visions that are being given to you through the space of your third eye or through your intuition that are deceptive, that are leading you in the wrong way. There's also a caution here to those who maybe aren't as creative to be aware of who you might be copying, or be aware of who you might be. Maybe you saw someone do something and now you thought it was cool, and so you're like, oh, I'm just gonna do it, like I'm just gonna do that, I'm just gonna do what they did because I think it's cool and because I really like it, but you may not have the tools or abilities, or you may not have the full picture at this time. Okay, there's something here definitely about there being a distorted image or distorted picture or a distorted understanding of what's actually going on in a situation. So it may not be the situation where you're copying someone, or someone is copying you. That may be a distortion as well. So a little bit of paranoia coming through. I do feel like I want to say that the third eye is haunted. Okay. The third eye is haunted, and so is the mind. The goblins have overtaken everything, and so they are just running amok in your mind. And so if you try and ground anything or consider anything to be truth during this new moon in Pisces, you're going to be deceived. So just wait to make any kind of decisions or to
modify your life in a big way. We have turkey. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a reading for turkey because I followed a wild turkey through the brush the other day, and I'm going to do a turkey reading. So if you selected this pile and you're interested and the turkey is really calling to you, there will be a picker card for turkey coming up soon. Give with gratitude and grace. Yeah, there's a lot here to do with your money, your financial stability, or your and how it's related to other people. Like, it could be that you're getting an offer at this time that feels really generous, like someone is very giving to you, but beware of the giving. What I'm getting, and I don't know why goblins keep coming up, maybe it's your energy, I don't know. But if you've never read the poem, or even if you have, I would reference Christina Rossetti's Goblin Market, okay? That's very much the spirit of what's going on here. They have these really enticing fruits, they have this really enticing song, but the cost of those items is much higher than you think it is. So that could be what's coming in as well, is that there's this opportunity that feels like a way to abundance, but there's something about it that is just not what it seems. And you know, I'm thinking about this turkey and how it led me, and then it led me to a place where there was no path. It was just thick brush, and I had to crawl through vines that were like, the space was the size of my body, and it got really tight, and my legs were covered in wet from the grass, and it made me heavier, and it made me like, it was just so much more difficult. And I feel like that that's the metaphor, is what I'm trying to say. I feel like there's something there. You have the card of Palomino. There's a lot of fast-moving energy in your subconscious with this full moon in Pisces. So your dreams are going to be potentially very vivid, or your daydreams are going to be vivid, or your visions are going to be, or all of the above. And so just because they're very vivid does not mean they're accurate. I have to keep doubling down on this message. I promise I won't say it too much more, but hopefully not. We'll see what the cards bring. But this is very much... yeah, it's like it will lead you very quickly in the wrong direction. I'm hearing something about biting off things you have no business biting. Yeah. Okay. And the Five of Pentacles. I feel like that no business biting goes back to the source of the idea as well. So for instance, what is an example of that? It's like, well, the first thing that's coming to mind is a witch candle or something like that. You know, a really close friend of mine makes these really amazing witch products, and you'll see that people will just replicate what she does. And when it comes to energy and when it comes to feeling, sometimes you can use a model and you can modify that model, but when you're just copying it and your energy is nothing, like it's not your calling, people will feel it. And I feel like there is something that is not your calling that is calling you. There is something that is not your calling that is calling you. And so to be very careful about that. Be very careful about what you think you are ready for in this period. And with the Five of Pentacles, it's almost like you're maybe you feel left out of something, or you feel outside of something, and so you want to try and buy your way into it, or you want to try to find your way into it, but you're not really sure, so you're scrambling for options of how to get into this space, or how to get into this energy or this connection that the other people have. And so there's a warning here about trying to replicate what you think it is that they are doing. So it's like, do you, right? Like the reason that this group, or whatever it is that you are longing to be a part of, the reason that they are in that space together, for the most part, is usually because they're doing them. Like, they're doing what they do. And that's why you are so drawn to it, or that's why other people are so drawn to it. Now, if you are the person who is within the thing, and you can see that there are people that are trying to get into your energy, there are people that are trying to get into and do what you're doing. And it's meant to be flattering, because it means that what you are doing is something that is worthwhile, but there's a caution here about really going down that road and thinking about it, about try not to dwell on, are people copying me, are people it's pulling you down, it's dragging your energy down. If they are, but it's not going to help you. It's actually going to start to hurt your abundance. It's going to start to hurt your progress. So I feel like there is a lot that's coming through. Hold your vision. Okay? Is the vision yours? So it's going to be very important to remember what your vision was before you came into the energy of this full moon in Pisces. Because I think it's going to get thrown in the dryer here. I think it's getting thrown in the dryer for you during this full moon. And it's important for you to truly recognize what gifts and abilities you have, that if you are, whatever side of that coin you're on, whether it's someone trying to get close to you, or whether you're trying to get close to someone, is that aligned with your vision? Is it, or does it just seem like an opportunity that fits intellectually? Like, is that something that you think is the next step, but maybe there's a different step that's available to you? So be cautious about that. There's definitely a lot here to do with lack. So I feel like if you're looking for something to release during the full moon, the energy of lack is going to be key for you. And you have the card number 2 here from the Moon Oracle of the She. Within one space are individuals, and the individuals must be their own thing. They must bring their own energy, and there's something about you. There's something about everyone that is unique. But there is something about you that is unique, that deserves to be expressed, that deserves to not to surrender to some kind of replication or model of what you think you should be, but to be yourself. There's a lot of that coming through in this reading in general, in this full moon, about being fixed in yourself, knowing who you are. So you can look out. So for instance, if you have your own business and your business is to make donuts, okay? So you make donuts, and you came into this donut business from a love of making donuts, and you had your own way of making donuts, but then other donut shops start popping up, and maybe they start to become popular, and you start to look around and you go, okay, well, that donut shop is doing this, so I'm going to do it too because it's selling. This would be a mistake. Or in that donut shop, you start to have visions around this time of the full moon for these different projects, and you feel a lot of energy coming through, and you feel these visions coming through, and this, like, it's like channeled wisdom that's coming through from your guides and energies and whatever, and this is going to lead to abundance. Be weary of that. Try not to make changes based on the visions that you are getting at this time. I don't know, I keep repeating myself, so let's move on. There's something that, it's like you're being called to return to what brought you there to begin with. What brought you to your donut shop? What brought you to making candles? What brought you to that specifically? And if the answer is nothing, like if it's substanceless, if it's sort of like, well, I just thought this was what I was supposed to do, then, examine that. If it was from a deep love and deep self-expression, stay true to that, stay fixed in that, hold that vision, and don't allow whatever tricks are coming in, whatever goblins are popping up to dissuade you from that path. Okay, you may receive information that's saying, like, you're in the wrong place, like you don't belong. This could be a very negative voice that's coming in, or negative people that are coming in, and it's really important that you don't really entertain that. Or someone comes in and they're wanting to give money to your business, be cautious about that, or some kind of business partnership, be careful about that as well. This isn't a very good time for partnership for you, I'm feeling, okay? So with this card, it says, I am loved beyond measure. This is, I am loved beyond measure is the abundance, okay? Staying in this energy, this is the energy that you need to stay in. I don't like to say you need to or you should, but this is what you're being guided to stay in, is this energy of love. It keeps coming up over and over again in this reading, in the full moon reading, where holding the energy of love, that's going to be our center. What do we love? And not being drawn away by some saucy little mistress of an idea. Okay? So, this pile is giving me weird vibes, so I'm feeling weird. Like, not that you're giving me weird vibes, but the energies that you're going to be surrounded by. So this is telling me that you stay rooted. Stay so dang rooted. The other thing that's been coming through so much, and you're in Virgo season still, and it's the full moon in Pisces, move your body. Listen to your body above your mind, above your intuition, above anyone else. Listen to your body. And this is the red tourmaline, and it says passion. I am the embodiment of passion. And I feel like this passionate energy is what's creating this impulsive currents where it's like, yeah, let's do this, and it's gonna feel good. Like, that's the thing, is it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel like, oh, these are all the synchronicities coming together, everything's coming together. This is exactly what I was looking for. Come back to your singular vision. Remove someone else's vision. Come back to your singular vision, okay? And then this is your door. And it says, distant dream. The distance calls your hearts to return free, or to roam free. As you dare dream it, so must it be. This is the trick. This is the trick. Your dreams are going to come in with some something that looks like what you want is going to surface, I feel. A way in or a door is going to present itself, but that door does not lead to where you think it does. Okay, but maybe if your body tells you to go that way, maybe you go that way anyway, right? But here, this is about, not going in. It's taking what looks like the harder path or the less exciting path. Usually they're out in the cold in the snow. Oh, there is a person here. They're out in the cold in the snow, but they're connecting with the sacred outside of the sacred space. You may be leaving something, or you may have left something and you want to go back. It's for some of you. Something to do with the community especially. Like maybe you go and visit a friend and you think, oh, I'm going to move here. This is it for me. I'd wait. I'd wait to put any action behind it until the end of Mercury retrograde, which is in October. So this is your other door. I just felt like I needed to pull another door for you. A cure for longing. Love is happiness, a spark inside. Live deliberately and choose boldly. Then you have arrived. Yeah, and I feel like this is typically your spirit. And I feel like you will get the opportunity. You will get the opportunity for this once you've dodged a bullet. All right, so we're going to move on to the West. We call upon the wisdom of the West, calling in your guides, my guides, any energies, entities, ancestors, teachers that wish to be present with us here today, the guardians of the West and the element of water. We ask you to bring us direction, wisdom, and so you've arrived here at the reading for the West with the blue calcite. There's something here, the word lingering keeps coming up. Lingering, wisdom. On a Wednesday with a waxing moon, let wisdom come and be renewed. There's some kind of ending, with the full moon. The full moon has the energy of endings, right? Of releasing. But there's something here about, a fine tune in your ear. So if you ever hear ringing in your ear and then something comes through, sometimes that's an indication that there's a channel that's opening for you. It's a channel of wisdom. With Wednesday here as well, I'm reminded of Odin. So that may be something to do with Odin, prophecy, or any other prophetic kind of deities if you are connected with them. But I do feel like one is coming through for me now. And this is talking about releasing or understanding something through a loss, through an ending. Something that dies in the night. Something that was taken in the night. That is, there's a bandaged wound, but the wound needs oxygen. The wound needs to come to, it needs to be open to the air in order to like dry and harden and heal. But it feels like there may be, with this wound, it's connected to some kind of fear or feeling that the wound must be kept fresh in order to keep whatever it was that you lost close to you. And so with this full moon, this is an opportunity to release. The full moon is on a Monday or Tuesday, so it would be the Wednesday after the full moon that calling in the energies of the owl or of this prophetic deity to watch this, whatever you lost, transform. It has become something else, but when it isn't healed, or when it isn't able to heal, it can't transform. It gets stuck in the form that you left it in. So it needs this air. It needs to come to light or come to the air to transform. And see, it's almost like there's maybe a loved one or an ancestor or someone that died that was close to you that wants to be a guide for you, but because you haven't allowed yourself to mourn them or grieve them fully, they're not able to come through as that because you're preserving them as what they were when they were alive. I know that may be hard to hear. I don't mean to be insensitive to that situation. But that's sort of the feeling of this. It may not be that. For some of you, it is a creative project that you were working on, or a collaboration that you were working on, or some kind of something that felt really important. It felt foundational. It felt like stability, and it was a big loss. We have the Nightingale spirit. Love is all around. This is the key to the full moon in Pisces. 100% is love. Love is meant to be fed to all things in this time. It is to be fed to the antagonist person in your life. It is for the people that you truly love. It's for yourself. It's love for absolutely everyone and everything. It's love for the things that you can't stand. It's gratitude for the things that create resistance in your life, or that are it's love for tragedy. It's that conversion energy of ending to beginning. This is a full moon in Pisces. We then move on to Aries, which is the beginning again, right? Through the moon cycles. I don't know why I feel like I want to cry about that, but I do. I really do. I guess we're in the West now, so tears are fair, because this is the land of emotions. But I feel like this nightingale, it calls out truth, and so does the prophetic owl. Like, you're calling out some truths here from deep inside of your hearts. Some big, deep truths are coming out, but you're ready for it. It wouldn't be coming up if you weren't. We have the horn. This is very interesting. So there's an amplification to this. This came through in a different pile as well, in a different direction, but in a different way. This, it's almost like whatever needs to come through, you allowing this wound to heal, the transformation of that energy, whatever it is that gets renewed, is then amplified. So it's waiting. It's not just waiting to be renewed, it's waiting to be amplified. So this could be a guide that has messages to deliver. Like, this could be a guide that has things to teach. And so they're just kind of in a waiting room right now, and they're ready to sing a song. I'm getting whistleblowing here. There's energy here of releasing your truth and shaking some things up, because it's no longer time to protect those people. It's no longer time for the person who was hurt or oppressed or abused to shoulder the shame and blame for that. It's time to speak that with a concise and real, heartfelt truth. This This is a very evolved emotional sensibility that I'm picking up here, that you are able to, or maybe it's through your guidance, through this, it could be this deity that's coming through for you, that you're channeling, that is going to speak out of your mouth a heart truth that has a strong impact. This is like, whoa. This is a reckoning for some people. This is a judgment for some people. This is powerful. Nine of Wands. Yeah. So there's this theme that's come through as well, and if you chose the West and you haven't watched any of the others, you have the advantage of me having seen what's going on in all the other readings. But here, this victim mentality is something that's coming up. So we've seen through the different readings that there are some people that have assumed a victim mentality that are coming to the realization that they maybe, of what their part was in that, where, maybe the person didn't mean them harm, but they still hurt them. And so saying, you hurt me, but I also recognize that you hurt me because I told you this is who I was, or I told you that it was okay to do this, which changes, how that relationship can continue, or how you even look at that other person. And here with the Nine of Wands, there's one final thing that you haven't maybe looked at or acknowledged, or this is what it feels like. It feels like there's just this one final thing, this one final part of the wound that needs to be revealed in order for it to heal. And this could very well be your part in things, right? That can be, I've been through so many different things. I've experienced all these different hardships, and then acknowledging I made choices, which is not to invalidate the feelings or the struggle or how badass or resilient you are, but to actually take some responsibility. That could be part of it. That's not for all of you. For some of you, I feel like this is just something that you don't ever, whenever it comes up, you turn your head away from it. Whenever it comes up, you close off your ears. Like, it's just something that you have ignored is going to come through, and I feel like it's going to come through aggressively. So if you try not to listen, it's going to come through aggressively. It's going to be smacking you in the face. So if you're experiencing a lot of fairly specific situations, this isn't just seeing a dead bird. This is a dead bird flying directly, and like a crazy kind of dead bird, not like a standard bird that you see everywhere. This is like some sort of crazy bird driving into your car, or flying into you, or something very strange that it's literally gonna smack you in the face if you do not look at this. It's like the energy here is, you have to look at this. You have to let this die. You have to. You can't keep trying to move on without looking at it. And I feel like when it comes up, it's not as scary as you think it is. It's not as bad as you think it is. And also, I feel like it's interesting because you've put in so much work. It's like you've circumnavigated this one thing and tried to move things forward, but couldn't get that new beginning because of this one thing. What is the truth about yourself that you don't want to accept? What is the truth about someone in your life that you don't want to accept? Maybe it's that you are extremely mushy and extremely, that's come up in these other piles as well, that you have like a lot of love and you have a lot of feelings and that you have a vulnerability. Some people, this is what they don't want to see. They don't want to see that they're vulnerable. That's too terrible to admit. That's what I mean, that it's not that bad. Like, it's not that bad. And that love and that vulnerability that you bring forward is wisdom. And it has a power, I had a situation come up recently where someone from my past came back, and this is a person who has a tendency to be fairly manipulative, and we have a long, long history. And this person was upset about something that I said, and it was something that was, like fundamental values. That's come up in this reading as well. It was where our fundamental values clash. But in the past, I would submit to them. I would submit to, or I would fight them about these values. And instead I said, I don't want to fight you. I love you. I care about you. Whether you're in my life or not, know that you are always loved. You're always cared about. There's a spirit out there with both our names on it, and that will never change. And it completely disarmed this person. And I don't feel bad. I don't think they feel bad. If they feel bad, I don't know. It's not my responsibility. But I think, if someone can't receive love, that's not our issue, right? We did what we could do. We expressed what we can express. And I feel like this is what is being shown to you, is that if you express your heart, that is a wisdom in itself. Okay. End lecture. I don't like lecturing. Sometimes it happens. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Okay, so there is something that happened potentially around the new moon in Cancer, which would have been the first couple weeks of July, either this year or the year before, that is coming up. There's something that wants to come in for you, but something needs to be released first. So the new moon in Pisces is going to be an opportunity for that to happen. If you can think back to that time, there may have been a conversation that you had with someone about safety, or there may have been a conversation that made you feel unsafe. So that is coming up for you at this time to look at, process. If you have a journal, definitely look back at that time. Another good thing to do actually is to look back at the readings on this channel. So go back in the Astrology Tarot playlist. There will be a whole list of the different readings that I've done, so you can go back to like the new moon in Cancer and see what I was saying about that time and see how those themes are resonating with you now and where you're at in that progress. So that can be kind of a helpful tool if you're not a journaling person or if you're not good at keeping track of your own stuff. I'm definitely not, so I would use the past readings as a kind of mile marker. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Number 15. This is from the Moon Oracle of the She. And the messages of the She are... It's like it's encased. I'm hearing that it's encased at the base of your spine. You are ready to become something different than you have been. Even if we go back to being guided by this energy that wants to guide you, or letting something go, letting something heal so it can become, it's like you heal something and then it becomes your superpower. It's very much, if you've watched the shadow work Nightmares, that was I didn't even intend it. I was guided to do it. I didn't even realize, we're in Pisces. Pisces is a sign of dreaming and the subconscious. So this is about where you've, converted that nightmare energy and you've figured out the lessons of it and that kind of thing. And then we have the eclipse. This is echoing back to that reading as well, I think. Yeah, so you may want to check out the Shadow Work Nightmare reading if you haven't already, because the eclipses were coming through very strongly. So there's something here about it's like you step through into a different world. The rules have changed, and that world has been there for you always, but you didn't have full access to it. Maybe you intuitively knew that it was there, or you could feel it, but it wasn't fully available to you, or you couldn't feel it in your body, I think is the key there. And this amplification, I want to go back to the amplification because I'm getting that a lot here. It's like something cracks open and new knowledge or new energy is being released into the collective, and I feel like somehow you are a part of that, or you are going to very much feel that and be able to shift into that. I feel like this ending is allowing you to shift in with this collective shift. So there isn't as much catching up to do, because I feel like sometimes, shifts will happen collectively, and then some people go along with the shift, they ride the wave, and then some people are kind of left behind and they have to catch up, or they have to, they have more to learn to get there. I feel like you're learning about the universe inside of you. You're learning about the rooms and the containers of your mind and of your consciousness, and this could be journey work and exploration, dream work, that kind of thing. So with the eclipse here, it says, I know myself deeply and find myself worthy. I know myself deeply and I find myself worthy. That is the wound. Worthiness. Knowing yourself deeply, finding yourself worthy, it gets contagious. But that worthiness is what allows you to whistleblow, or to change something, to be part of this shift. And then clear quartz. And the message of clear quartz is clarity. I have clarity in all aspects of my life. I have clarity in all aspects of my life. I do feel like this is coming through. If you feel that things have been unclear, it's because that this last wand, or this last thing that you didn't want to look at is, once it's looked at, there's a sense of clarity about yourself. The missing pieces start to come together. So this is the transformation that's available during this full moon in Pisces. And then we have this door. There are so many different ways in. It's 11:11. Yeah. This is portal energy. This is things ripping open and you step into a whole other way of being. So maybe you enter into a relationship that's divinely guided. This is we're in the West. This is emotions. This is love and that intuitive psychic connection between loved ones, and I feel like that could very much come in. You may be whistleblowing yourself. Numbers in double, synchronicity in 2. Don't hold back. You're loved now. Life is meant for you. Life is meant for you. Yeah, this new life as well. I'm hearing something about keep it on track. So there's something you've laid out, there's a map, or there's something that you have already constructed, a structure that is already there that you are riding out. So if you think of a train, it's not like a roadway where you turn left and right, you have to go on the track. And I feel like you're taking this track straight through this moon, into and through this rip in reality. And you have the card here. This came up in another pile as well. And you see that there's water underneath this door. So you have to navigate the waters to get here. And that's why in the other pile, this was a deception. Because they hadn't yet navigated those waters. But you've navigated these waters, right? So, distant dream. The distance calls your heart to roam free as you dare dream it. So must it be. Wow. Your life is changing so much. Leave me a comment. I haven't even said that in any of the other readings, but hopefully people do anyway, because I love to see your comments. Definitely leave a comment on the New Moon in Cancer reading if you watch it and see what's going on there. Personal readings are available. Look to the description box below. Show your appreciation for this channel in any way that feels right. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe, you can share. And I will see you next time.